My good friend, brother, and your very own Shri Dharmendra Pradhan, Honorable Union Minister of State with independent charge for petroleum and natural gas, the very distinguished Shri Devi Prasad Mishra ji, Minister for Industries, School and Mass Education, Government of Odisha. My two friends, Pranab Prakash Das, Minister for Energy and IT, and Shri Praful Kumar Malik, Minister for Mines, both of whom have been interacting with me and working on behalf of Odisha in the different areas that are under my charge. The outstanding Shri Subrato Bagchi, Chairman of the Odisha Skill Development Authority. That was truly an outstanding vision for Odisha in 2036. Only I hope and wish the heart and soul of Odisha remains the same as it is in 2016. Please don't let that change in 2036. Other honorable ministers from Odisha, members of parliament, MLAs, distinguished political leaders, captains of industry led by Shri Sanjay Patnaik, Chairman of CII in Odisha, senior government officials led by Shri Aditya Prasad Padhi, Chief Secretary, Shri Sanjeev Chopra, Principal Secretary Industries, and others, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. While I was seeing Mr. Bagchi's presentation, I was also reminded of the quote by John Keynes, which was recently brought before the nation: "In the long run, all of us are dead." I hope, Mr. Bagchi, you don't get deterred by that quote. Because unless we take care to visualize and plan and vision the long run, in any case, anything we do in the short run will not be of any value. So I'm glad that you have a long-term vision in Odisha. And as the world changes, as you reflected from 96 to 2016, the changing world, I'm glad that Odisha wishes to be a part of that changing world. And that reminds me about the other quote that John Keynes, the famous economist, had said, that when things change, when facts change, I change along with that. What would you do? And I'm glad that Odisha has decided to go on the path of change and not live in the past. And I wish you the very best for the future. Of course, Odisha reflects a confluence of spirituality and physical progress. My last visit to Odisha, I had the privilege of visiting the famous Jagannath Mandir, where the world's oldest Rath Yatra attracts millions of people. In fact, I don't know whether Lord Jagannath gave inspiration to the English word juggernaut. Did he? He did. Oh. Because that's the kind of unstoppable force that is required for the people of a state, for the welfare and prosperity and well-being of the people of Odisha. And I have no doubt in my mind that the very hard-working, very diligent people of Odisha will make sure that the vision that you have put forth today will be a success, and in that you will have the full support of the Government of India, of Minister Pradhan, of myself and all of us working in Prime Minister Modi's team to ensure that Odisha emerges as a winner and Odisha achieves its targets. In fact, I remember when I had just taken charge as a minister, one of the first directions that the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi gave me was to look east. One of the first decisions of the Government of India was to focus on the development of the eastern parts of India, Odisha, West Bengal, Jharkhand, Bihar, the northeastern states, because it is the considered view and commitment of the government of India that unless the eastern parts of India progress, unless we see growth, unless we see a better quality of life in eastern India, we cannot visualize a prosperous, we cannot visualize a better India in the future. And towards that end, it's very, very important that all parts of India, north, south, east, west, all of India grows, but to balance the development backlog, to make up for years of lost development space, it's very important that the eastern part of India takes rapid strides in development. And in that, I'm delighted that the Department of Industrial Promotion and Policy, Government of India, the Government of Odisha, and CII have partnered to put together the Make in Odisha Conclave in Bhubaneshwar. And I wish Odisha and the people of Odisha grand success in the years to come in your plans to make Odisha a manufacturing state. Even when the 204 coal blocks were cancelled in September of 2014, and the government of India had the decision to make as to what would be the new future policy in respect of natural resources of the country, the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi took a conscious call, inspired by the vision of Pandit Deendayal Upadhyaya, the ideologue of the Bharatiya Jansangh and now the Bharatiya Janata Party, who had propounded more than 50 years ago the concept of Antyodaya, the concept that the poorest of the poor, the last man at the bottom of the pyramid, has the first right to a nation's resources. And Prime Minister Modi directed that all these coal blocks which have been cancelled, the allocation has been cancelled, will henceforth not be given out free of charge, will not be given out to friends and relatives, politicians, or people of means alone, but will go through a transparent auction process, and the proceeds that one receives out of that auction will go to serve the people of the state where these natural resources are located. And the central government has lived up to that promise. Every one of the coal blocks has been decided and so far only given either through a process of transparent auction or in some cases to state governments or public sector undertakings of central and state governments. All of them at a price or at a value which will help the state of Odisha generate large amounts of revenue as each one of these coal blocks gets into operation and starts mining coal. And the initial figures suggest that over 70,000 crores of revenue will come out of the 12 coal blocks that have been allocated so far in Odisha. Only 12 coal blocks, but 70,000 crore plus revenue, which will come to the state of Odisha, which will be used by the government of Odisha for the welfare of the people, for the welfare of the citizens of Odisha, and to complete and fulfill the vision that Mr. Bagchi has just set out for Odisha in 2036. Similarly, the government has embarked on a massive project to expand the Paradip port, to develop the river basins, the various rivers in this region, along with the Sagarmala project, so that large amounts of mineral wealth of Odisha can be transported through the rivers, come to the port, and go through the length and breadth of the country, can also be exported to other parts of the world. I have recently been entrusted with the mines portfolio, where again there is huge potential in the state of Odisha. In fact, in bauxite alone, we have over 52% of the national reserve in Odisha. Along with that, we have high-grade iron ore, chromite, manganese, limestone, so many minerals that are available in the state of Odisha that truly we can see Odisha leveraging on this natural wealth that the Almighty has given the state and the people of Odisha to help improve the quality of life, to help develop the infrastructure in Odisha, to leave behind a legacy that the future generations will be proud of in terms of development, prosperity and growth of this state. In fact, the cluster that my colleague Shri Dharmendra Pradhanji was mentioning around the Sagarmala project and the Paradip port, and the petrochemical complex that he mentioned, alone has the potential of huge job creation opportunities. Mining has the potential to transform the state into possibly a zero unemployment state. Not only because mining provides jobs, but because mining provides the ecosystem around which industry can prosper, around which businesses can grow. In fact, if one looks at any country in the world, their development cycle has been on the back of low-cost energy, be it the United States of America, be it parts of Europe, Australia. It's always been low-cost energy that has helped a state to evolve, to develop. Odisha has the unique advantage of having large amounts of capacity of both coal and power generation through thermal plants using that coal. But despite that, as we speak, Odisha only consumes about 2,158 megawatt of power, and large volumes of power are exported out of the state. I would urge upon industry to consider expanding their footprint in Odisha, to make in Odisha out of this huge mineral wealth and export value-added products from Odisha, rather than sending out the power on the one hand and sending out the raw material minerals on the other hand. But if we could leverage on this, if we could use this low-cost power, convert these minerals into a finished product, and then take it out of the state, not only would we be providing huge job opportunities, both direct and indirect, not only would we be upgrading the infrastructure of the state, but in the process, we would also be adding hugely to the revenues of the state, which will help the state to serve its people better, provide better quality of skills, better quality of education, healthcare, and transform the lives of the people of the state. I am delighted that the government has started this Make in Odisha Conclave. It's a concept that the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi first initiated in Gujarat in 2003. The first Vibrant Gujarat Summit was held in 2003 in Gandhinagar, and has since then biannually become an internationally recognized feature. People from all across the world converge in Gandhinagar to discuss and deliberate on new technologies, new manufacturing sector initiatives, to look at what innovation can be brought into business and industry, to plan investments in the state. And I'm delighted that Odisha has chosen that we shall also embark on that path of massive industrialization, massive growth, and leverage on the strengths of the state, so that we can become in Odisha also a large manufacturing hub, rather than being considered only a consuming state and having to negotiate in the GST Council for let's say compensation in case of any shortfall. I would wish and desire that in the years to come, Odisha gains from GST as a producing and manufacturing state rather than only as a consuming state. There are huge opportunities in every field. I mean, the other day I was reviewing the working of NALCO, one of the companies under my charge, and I was shocked. I was going to use the word amazed, but the real word is I was shocked. मेरे को हैरानी हुई, आश्चर्य हुआ ये देख के कि नाल्को जैसी भारत सरकार की कंपनी इतने वर्षों से काम कर रही है, लेकिन उसकी जो उत्पादन करने की क्षमता है, the manufacturing capacity is less than half of other private sector peers. And when I did a deep study into why this was so, I was taken aback when I was told that yes, we are producing alumina, which is the raw material for making aluminium, in a large measure, large quantities. But we are exporting it to other countries. We are not using it in India. We are not adding value in India. I said, why are you not using the alumina in India, adding value and exporting a finished product? But I was told, no, there is resistance if we try to process it in India domestically. The local people will not allow us to process it or to sell it within the country. They will insist that this has to be exported out of the country. I have yet not been able to come to terms. What could be the compelling reasons that for the last 10 or 12 years, this is a matter that has been deliberated and pressures have been put on that company not to use that material within India, but to prefer to send it out of the boundaries of India and export it out of the country. I am delighted that now with the Make in Odisha Conclave, the people of Odisha want to manufacture in Odisha, convert this alumina into a finished product in Odisha, rather than sending it out of the country, out of the state. And I'm sure if a proposal was to come and support was to come from the local people, from the local government, there is every possibility that we can look at expanding the capacities of all manufacturing in Odisha so that we can convert the bauxite, the alumina, the chromite, the manganese, limestone, all of this into finished products within the state of Odisha rather than just becoming a hub to mine the mineral and export it out of the country. And I do hope any local or vested interests do not stop the efforts to try and expand the manufacturing base of this state and do not cause impediments to the same. In fact, I was seeing the progress on electrification in the state. I'm happy that in the last 2 years, we have worked together, the state government and the central government, and out of the 3,474 villages, revenue villages in the state of Odisha, which had not received electricity for 70 years, since independence, 3,474 villages who have not received electricity are being taken up for electrification on a mission mode. About 1,811 villages have already been completed. About 486 villages have found to be uninhabited, and leaving a balance of 1,177 villages, of which 1,172 villages are under progress. Work is going on, and I am quite confident, as I have been assured by my colleague Pranab Prakashta, that by May of 2018, every single village in the state will be connected with electricity, and the people of the state can have the benefit of electricity in their homes. The government is keen that there should be power for all, 24/7. Quality power, affordable power, uninterrupted power, and sustainable power. We are working together. We have drawn up a document by which we can take power to every home in this state, and we are very, very confident that within the next 3 years, there will not be a single home in Odisha which does not have power, which does not get the benefit of power 24/7. And I'm happy to report that the progress is good. We are working together to achieve this mission, and I'm confident that along with this, we will also embark on a major sustainable energy initiative to expand the renewable energy in the state. The Honorable Chief Minister had talked to me some time back that the coal cess that is being collected from the coal mining in Odisha should also be used largely in the state of Odisha. I have requested the Honorable Chief Minister to send in more proposals to develop solar energy, to develop pump storage, to look at opportunities of more and more sustainable and green and renewable energy in the state of Odisha, so that we can expand in a big way in renewable energy in the state of Odisha, and the government of India will extend every possible support that is needed to help Odisha also come on the map of renewable energy in a big way and achieve the mission that Mr. Bagchi mentioned, that by 2036, whether Odisha could actually convert into a 100% clean energy state. And for us in the Government of India, that is the mission of the government, and we'll be delighted to support any such effort that is made in that direction. In fact, I was just also going through the program on LEDs. We have just crossed 18 crore LED bulbs in the country being sold. And by the way, the price of LED bulbs in the last 2 years has fallen by 88%. 88% fall in LED prices. But I'm glad that Odisha also is working actively to replace all the bulbs in the state of Odisha with LEDs. 73 lakh bulbs have already been replaced in Odisha. And in the next year, year and a half, I'm hopeful that the entire Odisha state will only use LED bulbs. Another step in the direction of energy conservation and saving the state from wasteful use of energy. To my mind, in the days to come, the challenge is going to be about ease of business. And I'm delighted that the government has taken it upon itself to handhold and support industry to come up in a fast-track manner, to have simplified processes, to encourage industry to be set up here. And we on our part in the Government of India will be delighted to work with the state government to encourage industry to come in the state of Odisha. I know my colleague Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan has been coming to me very often with more and more proposals to set up power plants, to set up manufacturing facilities through the public sector undertakings in my charge. And I'll be delighted if we can look at expanding the footprint of manufacturing in the days to come in Odisha. It is an opportunity of a lifetime that we have today, where the world is changing, where Odisha is changing, Odisha is evolving. We are engaging with the youth of Odisha. I'm delighted that the young Indians had the Innovex, an expo about Make in India and entrepreneurship. And I'm sure these same young Odisha brothers and sisters will also participate in the Digital India movement and in the objective to turn India into a less cash society. We are aspiring to be a cashless nation, but certainly we can all work together to make India a nation like the developed world, like parts of the world where cash is almost never used. The whole world works on digital transactions. I'm sure the youth of Odisha and the people of Odisha will also wholeheartedly participate in using this once in a lifetime opportunity that we have to stop transacting in cash and to start transacting through digital means. Another very important step to truly become an integral part of the world economy. And I'm sure Odisha will not be left behind in the digital age and in its efforts to become a cashless society, a society where everybody does business honestly, everybody gets a chance, an equal opportunity to participate in the fruits of development, and the entire state works to further improve the lives of the common man, the lives of the tribals, the lives of the deprived sections of society who for generations have suffered from the deficit of development. In the days to come, I'm very, very confident that they will also participate in this huge development effort and initiative. You have my best wishes. The people of Odisha, the government and state of Odisha has my best wishes in its efforts to expand the Make in India program, and we from the government of India will be happy to promote and progress on any investment opportunities that are brought before us, that we can work in partnership with the state with, where we can work together to fast track investments and, as I said, convert the state from a consuming state producing minerals and power for export to a state which develops manufacturing and processing within the state of Odisha and becomes a manufacturing hub, a powerhouse of technology and innovation, and truly aspires to reach the vision of 2036 that you have espoused today. My best wishes to all of you and my support in all of your endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. You spoke of development as a whole, where different states come together and work together for the respective development and of the country as a whole. You also spoke of leveraging the strengths of the state to be on the path of massive industrialization. Ladies and gentlemen, the Make in Odisha Conclave has received a tremendous response